And the reason why people flake so much, guys, or let me be honest, the reason why girls flake so much is you got to understand that we live in a we're going to go some RP 101 here. We live in a deregulated sexual marketplace. What is a deregulated sexual marketplace? A deregulated sexual marketplace, guys, is a marketplace or a dating marketplace where there are no rules anymore, okay? It used to be there was shame, there was religion, there were parents, there were societal standards, there were certain things in place to keep things honest and modest. But those things, what I call the social training wheels, are gone, okay? We live in a world now where, you know, feminism is here, open sexuality is here, liberation is here, and what it's effectively done is it's given all the leverage and power to women when it comes to the dating and mating and courting process. And when you give the power to the female side, well, hypergamy can show its true colors, okay? For centuries, for human centuries, hypergamy has been contained by all the things I mentioned before, the social training wheels I mentioned prior. But now, you live in a world where hypergamy is completely unchecked. And on top of that, you have, how do I say this? You have infrastructures that not only allow hypergamy to flourish, but it allows it to thrive. What do I mean by this? I mean apps like Instagram, apps like Snapchat, dating applications like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, sugar sites like SA or Sugar Daddy Meet, okay? All of these different avenues, okay, allow women to have more options than ever before. It used to be, hell, even a mere 20 to 30 years ago, right? A woman was contained to her own geographic area of the men that she could date, right? If she grew up in Dubuque, Iowa, if she was the hottest girl in town, she would typically go ahead and associate with herself with one of the higher status men in that small little community. But now, fast forward to 2024, right, versus 1994, now that girl has access to not just the men in Dubuque, Iowa, but she has access to men in Los Angeles, California, in New York City, in Miami, Florida, in Dallas or Houston, Texas, because Instagram and dating apps have completely changed the game. And I don't think regular men understand this. And the reason why I know regular men don't understand this is because if you guys truly knew the power of social media, the power of the internet, and how dating apps and Instagram and all these social media applications in general have changed the courting process, you guys would all have professional photos on your Instagrams. You guys would all have a footprint on social media, and you guys would all take way better pictures. But most men are unaware of this. How do I know this? Because most of you guys have shitty dating profiles. Most of you guys don't even use online dating, or if you do, you suck at it. Your Instagram looks like shit. You have awkward pictures of yourself in a bathroom, and you have strange selfies with bad lighting. That's how I know most men are unaware of how the sexual marketplace has completely changed. Now, I know some of you guys say, well, you know what, Myron? I can go ahead and combat this by going out and doing day game or night game, etc. And to that, I would respond, yes, you absolutely can. If you're a charismatic guy, somewhat good looking, and you're able to go ahead and go out there and you got the balls to do cold approach, yes, you can absolutely do some damage. However, cold approach is not going to save you from the deregulated sexual marketplace that we're in, because though you're meeting that girl in person and you're able to create an impact, it does not change the fact that that woman still has hundreds of leads in her phone. She still has hundreds of men talking to her that are offering her all types of shit, whether she acknowledges them or not. Okay? So whether you decide to cold approach or utilize the internet does not change the fact that she still is able to leverage herself in a dating marketplace where you have little to no advantage. Okay, and I don't think guys really understand this shit, because if you understood this stuff, you would understand, damn, okay, I got a cold approach, I got to use dating apps, I got to use social media, I got to magnify myself in all these different platforms to be able to stand the fucking chance, okay? And that right there, guys, that whole little explanation that I gave you guys about the deregulated sexual marketplace, that is why we have the epidemic of flaking that we have now, where a lot of you guys go ahead and set shit up with girls and they don't fucking show up. That is why, my friends.
So we tell guys all the time, it's a numbers game. However, women have that times 10. And for them, it's like, okay, guy A has a yacht party, guy B has a dinner party, guy C has a coffee date. Which you're going to choose? And funny story, we have, we're going to say council club, me and Myron texting the same girl, and actually she was picking on both of us at some point. But it's funny because she texted both of us at the same time about one date. But it's funny because in that moment, she didn't know that we knew that she was texting us. So it's pretty funny actually.
Which one? Okay,
Spanish girl.
they're all Spanish. Okay, it's fine. We could talk
I'll show
about
you
it
later
more on there. Yeah.
Castle Club, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. 7 points we got to do.
Yeah, but we got 7 points that we're going to cover on this. But guys, give me ones in the chat if that makes sense to you guys about what a deregulated sexual marketplace is and how it's led to the current environment we have where flaking is so common. Give me ones in the chat, both on Rumble and on YouTube, if that makes sense. Because if you guys don't understand that, then you're not going to understand the root cause of the problem. But that, my friends, is the absolute. Obviously, I summarized it, right? So I wouldn't go on a whole rant about it. It's deeper than that, but that's a big part of why so many girls are flaky, guys. That is why. Because so many guys. Because the thing about the RP, right, is our job isn't just to give you guys tips and tricks to navigate the dating marketplace. It's also to educate you guys as to why you're dealing with the bullshit that you're dealing with. Like so many guys, right, have questions. Why is she doing this? Why is this going on, etc. A lot of guys are just clueless. Like, I don't know why the fuck shit is happening. Like, why did she divorce me? Why did she break up with me? Whatever. And it makes them go mad, right? But if you're able to understand the why, then we could go ahead and start to figure out how to deal with it. But if you don't know the why, it puts you in a situation where you're just trying to bash your head into the wall. Like, why is this going on? So that's why we're trying to give you guys answers, and then most importantly, solutions on it. But you got to understand where you stand as far as today's day and age when it comes to modern dating. It's changed significantly, guys. I mean, for all the older guys in here that are in their maybe 40s or 50s, you guys remember a time where there was no social media, there was no internet. Like, I remember, I'm 34, but even I remember this shit. Like, it used to be, if you admitted that you met a girl off Match.com, people would laugh at you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it used to be if you said, "Oh, I'm meeting a girl off of Tinder,"
Too.
they used to make fun of you for that. Like, meeting a girl online was like an unorthodox, strange anomaly that would typically be shamed. But nowadays, right, it's one of the most common ways to meet a girl nowadays. It's actually one of the primary ways. When girls get married nowadays, something crazy like I forget. There was a girl I used to know. She was a wedding photographer, and she, when she would do her business, a lot of the times she would ask, "How did you meet your partner?" so that she could take pictures on about certain things, right, to get the best capture pictures. And almost 50% of her clients had met online.
I mean,
that was in 2019.
Even after hours, answer girls, how'd you guys meet?
Yeah,
Tinder, Bumble, Hinge.
yeah,
It's happening, man.
social media.
Social media age.
Things
Instagram.
have changed drastically, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, and people just simply aren't. There was another study done on this. Like, people simply aren't going out as much, right? Like, nightlife in general is not
dead.
as popping as it used to be.
It's so dead right now.
It is dead.
Yeah, 100%
You want
dead.
to tell them about that because you're in the club every day.
I think for most people here, especially in Miami, we've been through this so many times, going to the club, going to yachts. The scene itself is dead, and not because of the people that live here, but tourists are not coming here as they would. And summertime is always usually like that gray area, but for the most part, the clubs here are dead. And if you want to talk about fun and being out and about, meeting people, that's one thing, but the club scene here is almost like pretty much like dead. So,
Well, I think the pandemic, 2 to 3 years of being locked down, kind of showed people that going out and partying isn't really, and drinking, it's not really it.
bro, before
it's a waste of money for men too.
before the virus, it was super lit. Like, it was crazy before, Rona. But now it's just died down a lot.